Have you ever felt safer facing the wall while you sleep? Like if you can't see the room, nothing in it can see you. What if I told you that's exactly what it wants? The night I decided to ignore my grandma's warning was the night I realized something had been standing behind me for years, waiting for me to turn my back. My parents left for a 10-day trip to Arizona, and for the first time in my life, I had the house to myself in Denver. 17 years old. Senior year. Big, quiet suburban house near the foothills. The kind of place that feels peaceful during the day and too silent at night. Before leaving, my grandma hugged me tight and said something strange. "Don't sleep facing the wall." I laughed. Why would that matter? She didn't smile, just on. I figured it was one of her old superstitions. She grew up in a small town where people believed in spirits, bad energy, mirrors at night, all that stuff. I forgot about it until the third night. I've always slept facing the door. It makes sense, right? You can see the room. You feel in control. But that night, I couldn't get comfortable. I tossed, turned. Finally, annoyed, I rolled toward the wall, my back to the room. The instant I did, the air changed. It felt heavier, like the room exhaled. I told myself I was being dramatic. I closed my eyes, and that's when I felt it. The mattress dip. Behind me. Not hard, not sudden, just a slow, steady pressure, like someone carefully climbing onto the edge of the bed. My body went still. I listened. Nothing. No footsteps, no breathing. Just the subtle shift of weight. I almost rolled over to check. But something stopped me. A deep, instinctive fear that if I turned around, I'd see something inches from my face, watching me. I stayed facing the wall all night. I don't remember falling asleep, but I remember waking up, and the mattress was flat again. The next morning, I checked under the bed, closet, bathroom, every lock. Nothing. I told myself it was stress, imagination. But that night, it happened again. Only this time the pressure was closer. Not at the edge of the mattress, right behind my back. Close enough that I could feel warmth through the blanket. My heart pounded so loud I was sure whatever was behind me could hear it. And then the blanket tightened. Just slightly. Like something was gripping it. I squeezed my eyes shut. Don't turn around. Don't turn around. Don't turn around. I stayed like that for hours. When sunlight finally bled through the blinds, I rolled over fast. The room was empty, but the blankets were tucked tightly under the mattress on my side, like someone had pulled them in. On the fifth night, I decided to prove to myself I wasn't crazy. I set my phone up on my dresser, hit record, and faced the wall. The pressure came faster this time. Immediate. Confident. The mattress dipped deeply behind me, so deep that my body tilted slightly backward, like something heavy was leaning in. I could feel it hovering close to my neck, not touching. Just there, and then I felt breath. Slow, cold, right behind my ear. I almost broke, almost turned around, but my grandma's voice echoed in my head. Don't. I stayed still until morning. The first thing I did when I woke up was grab my phone. My hands were shaking as I replayed the footage. At first, it looked normal. Me lying on my side. Still. Then at 2:14 a.m., the mattress dipped. Clear as day. The blanket lifted slightly, and then something appeared. Not fully. Not solid. More like a distortion. A shadow thicker than the darkness around it. It rose from the floor beside my bed. Tall. Too tall. Its outlines stretched toward the ceiling, and then it bent, slowly, deliberately, lowering itself onto the mattress behind me. The dip deepened. The shadow leaned closer to my back, its head tilted, like it was studying me. My breathing in the video quickened, but I didn't move. At 2:16 a.m., the shadow's face came into view. Not detailed, just a smooth, dark surface, except for two pale shapes where eyes should be. Wide, unblinking, staring at the back of my head. Then something happened that made my stomach drop, my body morbid. In the video, I shifted slightly backward, closer to it, like I was leaning into its chest, like I was used to it being there. At 2:18 a.m., my lips moved. The audio caught it. A whisper, soft, barely. There, not yet. The shadow froze, then slowly straightened. It didn't vanish. It stepped back, melted into the darkness near my closet, and disappeared. I don't face the wall anymore. Ever. But here's the worst part. Last night, I was lying on my back, facing the room, lights off, trying to stay calm. And I saw it, standing in the corner, perfectly still, watching, waiting for me to turn around. So let me ask you something. When you sleep tonight, which direction will you face? And if you feel the mattress tip behind you, will you be brave enough to look? Or will you finally understand why some warnings are never meant to be tested? What would you do if every morning you woke up and the empty pillow beside you looked like someone had just lifted their head off it? Not messy, not wrinkled, indented, like they'd been breathing next to you all night. That is exactly what started happening to me 3 weeks after I moved into my new place in Chicago. And I live alone. I moved into the apartment in late October. Classic Chicago fall. Cold wind slicing between buildings. Leaves scraping across the sidewalk. The kind of weather that makes you want to shut the world out and lock every deadbolt twice. The building was old brick exterior, narrow hallways, radiators that hissed like they were whispering secrets at night, but it was affordable. And it was mine. The first week was normal. Unpacking boxers, ordering takeout, falling asleep to the distant hum of traffic and sirens somewhere downtown. Then one morning, I woke up and noticed something off. The pillow next to mine, the one I kept there out of habit, had a clear dip in the center, like someone's head had been resting there. I frowned at it. Okay, I muttered. Memory foam. I smoothed it out with my hand. It rose back to shape slowly. Normal. I forgot about it. Until it happened again, and again. By the fourth morning, I knew I wasn't imagining it. The indent wasn't random. It was sapid rounded, deep enough that the pillowcase creased inward like it had supported actual weight 4 hours. I started paying attention to details. I made the bed perfectly before sleeping. Fluffed both pillows. Took pictures on my phone before turning off the light. The next morning, indent. Exactly in the center, like someone had carefully placed their head there after I'd fallen asleep. A cold, crawling feeling started settling under my skin. Live alone. No boyfriend, no roommates, no late-night guests. I checked the locks. Deadbolt secure. Chain secure. Windows locked from the inside. Nothing disturbed, except that pillow. By week 2, I stopped sleeping well. Every small sound in the apartment felt amplified. The radiator popping. The building settling. The faint thud of someone else's door down the hall. I started waking up in the middle of the night for no reason. Just alert, heart racing, like my body sensed something before my mind could catch up. One night, around 2:46 a.m., I woke up on my back. I don't sleep on my back. I always curl onto my right side, but there I was, flat on my bike, staring at the ceiling, and I couldn't move. Sleep paralysis. Primera, told myself. Totally normal, except primera wa, SNAT hallucinating. I wasn't seeing shadow figures or demons. I was just aware. Aware of the space beside me. Aware of the mattress. Slowly. Very slowly. Dipping right next to my arm, like someone had just climbed into bed. The mattress compressed in a long, deliberate shift. The blankets tightened slightly across my legs. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't turn my head. but he felt Italiano weight. Warmth. Close enough that if I moved my hand an inch, I'd touch something. The dip stopped. The room was silent, then a soft exhale. Right beside my ear, when I finally jolted awake, fully awake, I was alone. The mattress flat, the room empty, but my pillow crushed inward, still holding the shape of something that had just been there. The next day, I bought a camera, one of those motion-detecting security cams. I set it up on my dresser, angled directly at the bed. That night, I triple-checked the locks, turned off every light, and lay there staring at the ceiling until exhaustion dragged me under. I woke up at 7:12 a.m., heart pounding before I even opened my eyes. I didn't look at the pillow. I couldn't. I grabbed my phone and opened the camera app first. There was footage. One motion alert at 3:17 a.m. My hands were shaking as I played it. The video showed me asleep, curled on my side. Still. Peaceful. At 3:16 a.m. nothing. At 3:17, the mattress dipped. Clear as day. The left side of the bed slowly compressed. The pillow sank inward, like an invisible head had settled into it. I stopped breathing. There was no shadow, no figure, no distortion. Just the bed reacting to weight that wasn't visible. Then, on camera, I rolled onto my back. Not naturally, not gradually. My body moved stiffly. Mekanikaji. Like something had pulled me. The mattress dipped deeper. The blankets tightened slightly toward the empty space. And then the indentation on the pillow shifted closer to me, as if whatever was there had leaned in. The video ended at 3:21 a.m. The motion alert stopped. I stared at the screen for a long time, trying to come up with a logical explanation. Glitch. Structural issue, air pressure, anything. But there's one detail I haven't told you yet. At 3:19 a.m., while I'm lying flat on my back, my lips move slightly, like I'm whispering. I don't remember speaking, but the camera has audio, so I turned the volume up, and I listened. It's faint, barely audible, but it's my voice. Soft, slow, saying, "You're cold." Then there's a pause, and I shift slightly closer to the indentation, as if I'm making room. I didn't sleep in the bed after that. I tried the couch. First, nah. Fine. Second night, I woke up to the cushions compressed beside me. Same shape, same weight. Waiting. I haven't told my friends. What would I even say? Hey, I think something invisible is sleeping next to me every night. Yeah. That'll go over well. I tried staying awake all night. Made coffee. Turned on every light. At 3:17 a.m., the living room lamp flickered, and the couch dipped beside me. Slow. Deliberate. Like it was getting comfortable. I didn't look. I couldn't. But I felt it settle in. And then a whisper, not in the room, not from the camera, right against my neck. "You're warm." I'm writing this from my kitchen table. It's 2:58 a.m. I haven't slept. The bedroom door is closed. The couch is empty, for now. But here's the thing that terrifies me the most. Tonight, when I checked the bed before leaving the room, there were 2 indents in the mattress. One where I usually sleep, and one beside it, like someone had already laid down, waiting for me to come back. So let me ask you something. If you woke up tomorrow morning, and the pillow next to yours was indented, would you convince yourself it's nothing? Or would you finally admit you're not sleeping alone? What if the scratching noise above your ceiling wasn't an animal? What if every night, while you slept alone, someone was lying flat on their stomach in the dark, just listening to you breathe? That's what I started to wonder, the night the ceiling cracked open, and I saw an eye staring back at me. I moved into the house in early spring, just outside Atlanta. It was on a quiet suburban street, with identical lawns and porch lights that clicked on automatically at dusk. I worked night shifts as a nurse at a hospital downtown. 12-hour rotations. It was exhausting, the kind of tired that makes your bones feel hollow. So when I came home at 7:30 in the morning, all I wanted was silence and sleep. The house was small. 1 story, old wood floors, and an attic crawl space that stretched across the ceiling, accessible through a square hatch in the hallway. The landlord mentioned it casually. "Probably squirrels up there sometimes," he said. "It's Georgia." I didn't think much of it until the scratching started. The first time I heard it, I'd just fallen into bed. It was soft, like nails lightly dragging across drywall. I opened my eyes and stared at the ceiling. Silence. I rolled over. Then it came again. Slow. Careful. Almost deliberate. I told myself it was raccoons or squirrels. Totally normal. Except animals don't move in straight lines. This sound did. It started above my closet, traveled directly over my bed, and stopped. Right above my head. I lay there, frozen. Then, a faint shift. Like weight redistributing, like someone adjusting their elbows. I didn't sleep much that day. The scratching became routine. Every afternoon around 2 p.m., just as I drifted off, it would begin, above the hallway. Then the living room, then my bedroom. Always the same path. Always stopping right above me. Sometimes there'd be a soft thud. Sometimes a slow drag. One afternoon, I grabbed a broom and slammed it hard against the ceiling. The sound stopped instantly. Total silence. Primera. Ha. Wa. Aite. Nothing. I almost laughed at myself. See? An animal? I went back to bed. That's when I heard it. Not above me. Behind me. From inside the wall. 3 slow knocks. I moved out of bed so fast I nearly fell. I called the landlord the next day. He sent a maintenance guy to check the attic. The guy climbed up through the hallway hatch while I stood below, his flashlight beam sweeping across the darkness. "It's clean up here," he called down. "No nests, no droppings, no animals." "Are you sure?" I asked. "Yeah, just insulation." He climbed down, sealed the hatch, and left. That night, I worked a double shift. When I came home, something felt off. The hallway hatch was slightly ajar. Just a half-inch. I was certain it had been closed. I stared at it for a long time, then told myself I was just paranoid. I pushed it shut, locked every door, and went to bed. The scratching started at 2:03 p.m. louder this time. Heavier. Not nails. Knuckles. Dragging. It moved slower than usual, from the hallway into the living room, then directly over my bedroom. I didn't move, didn't breathe. The ceiling creaked, a long, slow pressure point forming above me. Dust trickled down. Then, a crack. Tinat fierced a hairline running across the drywall. Primera sta red italiano. The crack widened. Plaster flaked, and something dark shifted behind it. I couldn't look away. The drywall split open. Just enough. And through that narrow, jagged line, I saw an eye. Bloodshot. Unblinking. Staring directly at me. I couldn't scream. My body locked up. The eye blinked once. Slow. Curious. Like it was studying me. Then the crack widened slightly as fingers pressed against the ceiling from above. Testing it. Measuring. The eye moved closer. I saw part of a cheek. Skin pressed against insulation. Filthy. Sweaty. Smiling. I finally found my voice. I screamed. The ceiling thudded violently as whatever was up there scrambled away. Fast. Crawling. Not running. Crawling. The sound moved toward the hallway hatch. I heard it open. Then slam shut. Then silence. Police found footprints in the attic insulation. Human footprints. There were empty water bottles, candy wrappers, and a thin blanket laid out between the beams. And directly above my bedroom, the insulation was flattened, like someone had been lying there regularly. Watching, they found a small drilled hole, no wider than a pencil, positioned perfectly over my bed, hidden in a dark, knot in the wood. He'd been looking through it. Every day, every night, listening. The officer's voice was steady when he told me, "He has been up there a while. They never caught him. No forced entry, no broken locks." Which means one thing. He had a key, or he was already inside the first night I moved in. I don't live there anymore, but sometimes, when I close my eyes, I feel it again. That pressure above me. That sense of weight, like someone lying flat in the darkness, waiting for me to fall asleep. And here's the part that keeps me up at night. The police told me something before I left. Something they almost didn't mention. There were markings carved into the wooden beam above my bed. Tallies. Dozens of them, grouped in sets of 7. 7 scratch marks, then a line through them. Oberan, oberla, oberla la. He was counting something. Days, weeks, or maybe nights I slept alone. So let me ask you this. When you hear something scratching above your ceiling, do you assume it's an animal? Or do you ever wonder who's memorizing the sound of your breathing? Thanks for watching.